Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Bundi. For those of you guys who are new, I am also known as the Wellness Doctor. I create content on mental health and wellness. Today I am joined by my good friends and colleagues. I'll let them introduce themselves.
What up, yo? It's Dr. Rain, aka the Hip Hop Doctor, aka the Pediatrician with Biceps.
Hey.
Thank you for having me.
So what's up, guys? My name is Dr. Tabu, but I mostly go by Dr. Okinyi. I have a YouTube channel, shameless plug. So shameless, it's almost proud, eh? So Dr. Okinyi Views Kenya. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So yeah, as we've said, they are content creators as well. I'll link down their channels in the description box below. Please check them out. So today we're talking about something that's unique. You guys will watch this after I've done my episode on burnout in general, but today I wanted to talk about physician burnout. And basically it's been a unique year for us guys as doctors, and we felt it in a way that other people maybe have not. So I thought this was a good start. Okay, I'll start by defining what burnout means to me from my little research, and then maybe you guys can tell me what it means to you. So from what I got, burnout is mental and physical exhaustion that comes from your professional life. So it can be mental in terms of like you're irritable at work, you're impatient, you're intolerant, and then it can be physical stuff like migraines, hyperacidity, even just feeling tired all the time at work. So what does it mean to you?
Okay. So burnout to me, I think most of the time I experience it's just mostly mental fatigue.
Okay.
And when I can actually say I'm burnt out, is when I feel like that fatigue has gotten to a point where it's impairing my ability to work, my ability to be relating well with people at home. So yeah, but I feel like I normally push the limit to the extent that I feel I'm unable to work. But you know, before I feel I'm really unable to work, I am also unable to work, but I can't notice it.
Yeah.
So I think even the medical culture has really imbued in us this need to put in so much
push.
So we push and we are burnt out, and yet we don't realize we're burnt out until you're crumbling. So when you see that crack is when you say, burnout.
Yeah.
So for me, it's both mental and physical, and because our job involves a lot of running up and down in most cases, and then also you're running up and down, but you're also thinking. You're trying to figure out what does this person have, what disease is this person suffering from, what drugs should I be doing for him, what's the best management for him. So you're thinking. So you burn out all aspects of your mental and your physical energy reserves. For me, the worst thing about being a doctor is that we are sort of accustomed, because this is the healthcare system, and you're told that if you can't handle it, step out of the kitchen, you know? Where it's very counterproductive, because here you are trying to push, but at the same time you're not trying to say, oh, I'm actually getting tired, or I feel very fatigued, because that's like a sign of weakness, because you've been taught like, look, this is medicine, you have to jikakamua, you know, like you're supposed to be this super person, which is very counterproductive, because at the end of the day, when the doctor is exhausted, he doesn't offer the best healthcare for his patients. So yeah, that's burnout for me.
Okay, cool guys. So I wanted to bring out the fact that sometimes burnout for us starts way before. Like it starts from med school, and that's why maybe we get drilled into thinking things have to be hard, because it starts way back. So I wanted you guys to tell me about how your med school experience was, and if you've ever experienced burnout when you were in med school.
Quite frankly, I never really got burnt out in med school, because I tried to balance things out. I mean, I don't say that I did the bare minimum.
It's okay.
But I did just enough to pass convincingly, so that there was no doubt that I had passed the exams. So people used to go the extra mile to go see patients, and sometimes this would take you out of your schedule routine. So by this I mean maybe it's lunchtime. You're supposed to be having your lunch. When you're supposed to be sleeping, and you'll be going to clerk patients and to draw samples so that you can learn the craft.
Yeah.
And I kind of didn't do all that.
Yeah.
And I managed to engage in other activities. Like I still played rugby. I was vice captain in fourth year.
Wow.
University of Nairobi. So I managed to balance it all. The first time I experienced, and I think maybe I should have experienced a bit of burnout, because when I went to internship, it was like culture shock. Because in internship, the onus is on you to actually do all those things.
Yeah.
And I experienced burnout like nothing else. I remember this time I was doing a shift. I was on call in maternity, and any day of the year, mothers will be giving birth. So this time I was doing a night shift. And after that night shift, I had a morning wardrobe, so I had to be there. I hadn't slept the whole night.
Wow.
After that morning wardrobe, there are things that we still had to do. By the time 3 p.m. the following day after my night shift had come, I tried to pick up a piece of paper, just a patient, and my hands were just shaking. And that's when I knew burnout is real. So, so yeah, burnout does exist. And I think I
started internship.
Mostly internship. I normalized it. I managed to live with it, just like no pain, no gain, no shakes, no gain.
Yeah, because that's the way you're wired. That's the way med school basically tells you that this is what happens. This is normal. You're supposed to push through that pain. In med school, I like to divide it into like different parts. So you have your undergraduate, where you are studying to become a doctor. Then you have your internship. And then you have your further education, your postgraduate, or whatever you want to specialize in, be it do health policy or whatever. So I divided pediatrics,
neurosurgery,
one of the few.
As we name drop, our academics. So like for me in med school, like Sabu said, you have time to play rugby. Like when I was in med school, I was in Russia. I was doing shows like almost every weekend. That's how I used to make my extra money. I was performing. So I don't think you feel it in med school. You just go there. You go to hospital. It's like a formality. It's like a technical appearance. You just need to know how things are. But like as in, if you don't show up to the ward, or you don't do ABCD, your patient is not going to die, because they have a primary person, as compared to when you're now that primary caregiver, Once you hit internship, internship is the worst, because that's where you're just thrown into the deep end.
Yeah.
You're like, look, you finished medicine, welcome to the jungle. And you're supposed to know, you're the one who is supposed to be in that ward all the time, as the seniors, delegate your tasks and things like that. So I experienced burnout internship. So I would say in my phase of med school and internship, and right now currently experiencing burnout in my postgraduate education.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ole, I've also experienced the same thing recently actually, and it was because of the postgraduate part of it. Because now you have your postgraduate, you're trying to work, you're trying to create content, you're trying to have a family. It's a lot. So I think I want to ask you guys, like, what's your lowest moment? Because for me, my lowest moment was in internship, and there's a time I literally fainted in a ward round. Like I fainted.
What?
Yeah, I fainted in a ward round. And at that time, I was going through so much. I was on some medication because I had gotten a needle prick injury from a patient who was like full-blown AIDS. When I was doing a procedure, I got a needle prick. So I was on that PEP medication. You know how it makes you so sick. So I didn't want to eat. I was vomiting. I was tired. I had done, I think, a 24-hour call. And in the morning, I had to do a ward round. I just remember like just seeing white, and I was like, okay, am I dying? Like, is this it? Is this how I go? And then that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally my lowest moment. Why am I even a doctor? So you guys, do you have any moment where you feel like it was like the lowest point in terms of like your career and burnout wise?
I think the ordeal that I mentioned in internship, because it was a real shocker. Like it was a real shocker to me when I found myself. And before then I had pegged myself as this very strong individual. And so when I found myself like just very fatigued to the point where I was just shaking and I couldn't move, I think that really hit me hard. And I think from that point, I actually made conscious decisions to avoid burnout. So basically I went back to my bare minimum mantra, so that whatever I was doing what I needed to do, but I wouldn't over push myself. And there's this book, I think it's written by, I don't know the author, it's called, you'll find a screenshot of it and put it, so by Also Human, it discusses doctors' lives. And there's an analogy that's made at the start that a doctor is like you're going to save someone who's on thin ice. So that person is on thin ice and you're going out there to save them and bring them back to safe ground. But as you save them, you're saving them from the probability of the ice cracking and them sinking in the water. But as you save them, there's a risk of you yourself sinking with them. So the only way you can ensure you are safe, so to speak, is to make sure that you are anchored to the shore when you're now. And that's family, that's extracurricular activities, whatever other thing you need to do, like meditation, and you need to do that well.
For me, I've had my lowest point in 2 occasions, in internship and as well as in postgraduate. Internship was crazy because I did my internship in Kenyatta National Hospital. So, and I've never trained in Kenya, but I did do like a sort of like a pre-internship type thing. But like Tabu said, you're just thrown in the deep end. Like you're there, and my worst was, it's even shocking that I'm a pediatrician, because my worst moment was in pediatrics. Because back then is the intern is basically the one in charge of the ward, you know? So, and we used to do like night calls. So you have a day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then you start again. So I remember my first admission night, I was the one receiving the sick admissions in the ward, and we had so many sick babies. We have what you call is an acute room, which ideally should be like an HDU setting, but because of the situation with our healthcare, it is what it is. And I lost 4 babies that night. So I think for me it was more of that, where you start questioning yourself, like, did I really train properly? You start questioning yourself, maybe I should have listened more in the lectures, maybe I shouldn't have been doing all these. So you start getting imposter syndrome of some sort, where you start doubting your actual qualifications. And I was so, had gotten so much moral injury, I had said I will never become a pediatrician, just from that experience. So I was like, let me just focus on what I'm good at. It looks like surgery is something that I can do. So I made the conscious decision there, I'm not touching anything to do with pediatrics. And then the other moment was now very recent, I think last year, and in my postgraduate situation, when you see that having experienced private healthcare and understanding the private healthcare system, like knowing that there are actually children dying, not because they should die, but because of poor management and poor health policy and poor systems in place. So that gave me this another profound burnout, was that one, I'm physically and mentally exhausted because one, as a resident there, you're not getting paid, so of course you have to go and work. You work outside as well as work here for free. So of course you're burnt out. You're doing like 100 hours maybe in a week. If you combine both places you work. And then the moral injury, knowing that somebody died because there wasn't a bed in ICU. A baby died because there wasn't a catheter. And then you hear there was no blood. Then you hear all these stories about how this equipment is there because, the cartels.
I know.
And
the scandals.
This is like a whole nother conversation about the drama that we deal with. So that moral injury plus the physical burnout, that just put me in such a sad state. I started getting depressed. I started getting anxiety attacks. But then what used to help me was fitness. So when I used to work out, the endorphins, I just used to keep my brain balanced, the chemicals, the serotonins and everything just at very zen. So that keeps you going. But it's knowing that somebody is dying and they're not supposed to die.
There's a point during internship I felt like I was supervising death. you know.
Yeah.
I'm just supervising
You're a
people
mortician.
die. Yeah. Oh,
just
okay,
come
this
do
one
one.
died. Yeah. And unfortunately, sometimes you can even tell when somebody's about to die because he doesn't have A or B or C, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I really relate to what you're saying. Alright, so you guys, the last part is just going to be a simple game. It's a very simple game. The winner will get a gift from me. If I'm the winner, then I'll gift myself. So I want you guys to write 2 truths and 1 lie. 2 truths and 1 lie when it comes to like burnout, an experience you've gone through, a low point. For example, you see the way I said I fainted in a ward round. So just write an experience, then us guys are supposed to guess which one is the truth.
So 2 truths and 1 lie.
2 truths and 1 lie. So
so you have a 2/3
score.
probability of getting.
Yes. If both of you win, it's fine. I'll gift both of you. Alright? So I'll give you guys 1 lie. So I'm supposed to guess. We're supposed to guess the lie. Sorry.
Okay.
We're supposed to guess the lie. Okay?
Alright.
Alright, so I have 3 facts. You guys need to guess which one is a lie. The first one is I've cried at work in front of a patient.
Okay.
The second one is I've gotten a panic attack at work.
Okay.
The third one is I've quit a job because of burnout.
The
Guess
third
the
one is a
lie.
lie.
Final answer?
Of course.
Money in the box?
Yes.
You? So the third one is which one? The one of crying?
No, quitting.
Or quitting a job?
Yeah, because
Crying in front of a patient is true.
Wow. No
Maybe.
judgment. Say the lie. Which is the lie?
Or the lie. Quitting the job because of burnout.
Both of you are wrong.
Really?
I've never cried in front of a patient.
Okay.
I've never ever cried in front of a patient. I've cried at work, but not in front
Or
of a
not in
patient.
front of a patient.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Okay,
quit
that's
my
the catch.
I quit my government job because of burnout. I didn't even have a way forward. I just quit. Yeah, tarmac for 2 months, and then that's how I ended up where I am now.
Okay. Would have thought.
So 0-0 higher. Who's next?
And what's your score?
No, I don't have a score because it was my question.
Okay, let's give you a 0 now. So let me take it away. My first point is I would ignore a patient's plight so I can salvage myself.
Huh?
That's my first point. I'm a very chatty doctor and I listen keenly to my patients. Second point. Third point is I take down patient notes comprehensively and not just the bare minimum. So which is the lie?
The lie is that you're very chatty with patients.
That's a lie. Okay. What did you do to me? Money on the box.
No, that's for me. That's
That's a lie.
What was the first one?
My first point is I would ignore a patient's plight just so I can salvage myself.
Oh,
That's a lie.
that's a lie. That's a
Yeah,
lie. I
that's a
switch
lie.
my answer.
You switch your answer.
Yeah.
And money on the box for both of you.
Yeah,
You stick to that.
That's a lie.
Okay. So both of you are. Will you please share the gift now?
We
Both of you are wrong.
What?
What do you mean? My analogy,
Ah.
being anchored to the show. If I'm not anchored to the show, I won't go out to pick together a patient from the thin ice. Another doctor will do it. The doctor who's anchored to the show.
Oh my gosh. So which one is now the lie?
The lie here is that I take down patient notes comprehensively.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't find me saying, "Oh, patient ate this meal yesterday. Patient has 3 windows at home."
Yeah, but the word comprehensively is a bit, I don't know, that adjective.
Comprehensively is like,
But I get what you're saying. You don't do excessive.
yeah,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like I already stated,
You do that.
just so I can
Actually,
serve
you're
myself.
right. You're right. I have seen your notes.
Yeah, and they
They're enough.
points, they're enough.
Yes.
I wouldn't go. Someone else will do it. Probably
You
medical
don't
records.
write stories, but you
Yeah.
write what's necessary.
I'm not garrulous.
No, you're not. Wow.
I'm concise and to the point.
Wow.
So
Alright.
0-0.
Mwenda?
Okay, so the first one is I avoid burnout by working out regularly.
Okay.
Burnout has affected my physical health to the point of hospitalization, And the last one is, even though I am burnt out, I still offer the same services I would offer even when I am currently not burnt out.
The last one is a lie.
Can I just ask for clarification so that you can be comprehensive in understanding this?
Yeah.
The second point, hospitalization, is it outpatient care or does it have to be inpatient?
You can't be hospitalized outpatient.
But you're within the hospital, okay.
Or you mean like
Okay.
admitted?
You can be admit. You can consider it admission. You can consider it outpatient care, whichever.
What was the last point? Because that's true.
The last point was
That you
even
offer
when
the
I'm burnt out, I still offer the same.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
It's not physically,
Okay.
scientifically feasible.
So
Uh-huh.
you win.
Yay!
Easy. I had to go easy.
Yeah.
So how?
So you're the
going
winner?
about this?
You're the winner. You won yourself a samosa.
Does it come with a beverage?
No, it doesn't come with a
Not even water?
No,
It's
no.
okay.
But imagine I am also just so grateful for how much you've shared and opened up. The game was just also to get you guys to say something, that I didn't know. I didn't know some of that stuff about you. But just to summarize, guys, I hope you've been able to see us as human beings who our jobs sometimes take a lot from us, a lot more than we offer. And this is a PSA to all of you guys, because at some point you guys are patients. Please treat us like human beings.
Yes.
Even at the hospital when we are with each other, I think even now I've remembered that, Tabu is a human being, Mwenda is a human being. Sometimes I'm like, work mode, this is my colleague, you're supposed to go for a break at this time, come back at this time. I feel like it's time to remember that doctors are human. Thank you guys for coming to my channel once more. Please give a parting shot and then we can end this. Yeah.
Respect your doctors. We are human too. Don't judge us too harshly, and we might just treat you in a very, very amazing way. Yeah, make sure to check out all of our channels, subscribe to amazing content.
So, yep, I'm happy to have come here. And as Dr. Rina said, I just want to reiterate, we're also human, be kind to us. Yeah, my channel too, Dr. Kinivi's Kenya.
Yeah, subscribe guys. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Bye.